Hey, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jennifer Blacker,
And I'm Leon Karina.
and this is the How Hustle Mystic Morning Show. Today, we're talking with Aurora Luna Star, and we are going to go galactic with Amra, and we are so excited to have her back. I met her in January through another friend, and I was just like, I'm looking for somebody else to join us on our first summit. And he introduced me to Aurora, and I have fallen in love with her and watched her elevate and grow and elevate and grow. And it's been 10 months now, and I just cannot believe what she's doing, how she's channeling. And it is just really, really phenomenal.
Yes, a couple words about Aurora before we get started. Aurora Luna Star is an interdimensional channel specializing in Starseed Akashic Readings, sound activations, and personal empowerment through her channel. Aurora connects with the elders, the cosmos, accessing light codes via sound, messages, images, light language. Her purpose is to guide you towards embracing your fullest potential, acting as a catalyst for your personal growth and transformation. Aurora's greatest joy is empowering each person to realize their unlimited nature and see themselves for the master beings they truly are. Thank
Mhm.
you, Aurora. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yay.
What a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's important to say introductions because sometimes we have all of these wonderful things and gifts that we've done, and sometimes we just turn around and we're like, you, we don't always give ourselves enough credit. And I think that you've done some remarkable things in the work of spirituality and channeling, and it has been quite the journey for you. And I can't wait to share that with this audience today. Can you tell us a little bit about, and I know that we've had you on the show, but it's been a little bit of time about kind of how you came into this work, just briefly.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So the long and the short of it was 17 years in corporate America, which kind of financed my spiritual journey. I always joke that Reiki is the gateway drug to spirituality
You're the
because
third
Third
person,
person.
third person on that summit that said that
On this
exactly.
summit, yes.
that's so funny. Because Reiki helps us understand that we're energetic beings,
Yes.
right? We're not just physical, but that we're energy. And so from that place, I became a Reiki master teacher and another healing modality teacher, and just like couldn't get enough information. And, went through the rigmarole of all the different things, but really ended up having to listen to my physical body and my emotional body. That one day I got to work and I just started crying behind the desk because I knew that life was not making sense. I
Mhm.
knew all
That
this
sounds like
amazing
mine.
information, right? Like I
Yeah.
knew all this information about spirituality, and yet only part of my life was reflecting that back to me.
Mm.
So I just kept following the breadcrumbs, which were intense. Like I left my job, I moved to Mexico. From Mexico, I came back to New York, where I'm from. From there, I thought I was moving to England, got kicked out of England on a one-way plane ticket because I didn't know that I needed to have a round trip.
Oh, I
Yeah,
gotcha.
and
Oops.
and the, and the funny, not funny, was like my cat was completely spiritually aligned because he made it into England without a problem. Um, $2,000 to fly him there, 2,500 to get him
Yes,
home. Like,
yes. For the
crazy,
quarantine.
crazy.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy, crazy resets that kept happening for various different
Mhm.
reasons. England, in particular, I was not using my discernment. One of my mentors said, "Oh, I see you living in England." So I just
Mm.
packed up 4 suitcases and my cat and
Oh.
contacted a friend that lived in the UK and went full steam ahead into a brick wall, which was a beautiful, challenging, awful lesson all at the same time.
Mhm.
And then Mount Shasta called and moved there for 3 years. Then Sedona called, moved there for 6 years. And now Mount Shasta has called me back. And I'm buying a house here. So
Love
I've been
that.
back for almost a year.
Exciting.
Very,
Congratulations.
thank you, thank you very
Oh my gosh.
much. But yeah, I mean, the journey in general, I once interviewed Wendy Kennedy. And in that interview, the fun part of what we both kind of giggled about was that when spirit talks to us, it's not like the voice of God, like Aurora, you must do this. It's this very subtle inner knowing that nudges you and does not command or demand anything of you, But every single time I listened, because I can even tell you when the mountain called me back here, I was like, nope. I've been in Sedona for 6 years. I've been in this house for 5.5 years. I finally have community and a life, and I love Sedona. I am not leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the mountain said, well, are you sure? Because like it could just be really amazing here. And
I love that you're saying it this way.
It
it was
usually is
really
something
like,
that you want anyway. The first time I had a clairvoyant message, it said, walk away. And I'm like, but I can't. I have this car payment, I have this house payment, I have all these things, right? And yet it was like I didn't have to walk away, but it was better that I walked away. It's usually, and it feels lighter in some way, even though you have to kind of, have this icky transition period here on Earth.
well, I also feel like that was a belief system for me. So in other words, moving
Oh,
to
Well,
Mexico
sure,
was very
certainly.
challenging.
It was for me.
yeah.
Yeah, every reset that I've had has felt extremely challenging. Even this one. So I ended up moving into a trailer on a family member's property, and it snowed 2.5 feet within the first 9 days, and it wasn't winterized, and there was going to be a tiny home, but the tiny home didn't get built, and blah blah blah, on and on and on, like huge initiatory, nonsensical process. And then I realized, as an architect of my own universe,
Yes.
there was a belief pattern that every time I do
Yes.
these resets, that there has to be this arduous initiatory process. And in fact, there really doesn't. But
Mhm.
the process did serve me, because I was invited to be at the channel panel in Sedona. And I believe that that invitation came because I didn't project what I was experiencing and the challenge that I was going through onto anyone. I just was
Yes.
navigating inside, saying, okay, I created this poop storm. Why?
Yeah.
And what
And it's more like, why?
Yeah, but at least you acknowledge that you're the creator of all this.
100%. I think that
Right.
if I didn't, the timeline I'm living here or anywhere else would have looked very different.
Hmm.
Emotional responsibility and intelligence is something that we really have not been taught as a society. In fact, the Matrix, I feel, really loves that we're victims, because it keeps us
Yes.
in
Hmm.
reality, and it keeps
Agreed.
us from our personal power, and it keeps us from remembering the aspect of source that we are.
Hmm.
So, and
Absolutely.
it's not like the victim doesn't show up. My inner child has a lot to say on a regular basis about being triggered in life all the time, but the tools now to navigate that become like, I'm acutely aware of when my inner child comes up, what she needs to experience in order to feel safe, and then in order to understand what the soul is looking to expand into,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? The dark night of the soul and these dark aspects of self and the shadow of the planet, all the things, all the shadow is serving the light. We don't see it through that lens, but it's important to, because without the shadow, we have nothing to contrast, and we have nothing, no reason. Like, we can just sit on the couch and eat bonbons and watch TV until the next millennium. Our shadow
Hmm.
keeps us saying, okay, there's something that is out of alignment for our either soul purpose or our growth or our expansion, however you want to phrase that. And it's a really beautiful opportunity to come more deeply into that space and say, wow, if I can love this piece of myself, then I can now integrate that into light, because we're not fighting darkness.
Yeah.
We're integrating darkness into,
Yes.
we're shining
Yes.
the light on the shadow.
I love
And
that.
so, yeah, and that's, and PS, everyone, that's all shadow. Whatever shadow you feel you're navigating, our
Hmm.
answer isn't going to be to fight it. Our answer is going to be the light within it.
Yeah.
And as we choose to be the light, suddenly it dissolves, right? So
Hmm.
humanity's in the middle of really understanding that, and coming back to the soul memory of what it means to integrate and to be the energy of love.
Yeah. Yeah, that heart coherence that we talked about in the first call, really getting back into that. I really get that you have had moments of heart coherence in that way. I want to shift this conversation a little bit into channeling, because I know that when we first met, you had just, recently started channeling Omra. I believe that's how you say her name. And she's a ninth dimensional being, as we've talked about on a previous conversation. And now, you're, hitting us with Arcturians and Palladians, and, talk to us a little bit about when channeling began within you and how you seek and have this information from all these various galactic spaces now.
Well, the journey was a journey and still is, right?
Mhm.
The only reason why the Omra Collective came in a year and a half ago is because I needed to align to a higher frequency in order to connect with them. They're ninth dimensional. They're not from our universe, right? They're using Gaia as a satellite to communicate through me. And so in order for our energetics to meet, right? Everything in life is frequency, everything, right? So if I'm not in a certain vibration, I don't have access. And I think a lot of us feel like we've been locked out or blocked from access, but actually the truth is the access is in the heart, right? So as soon as we choose to align to a certain vibration, whatever that may be, we have access. And so I was always channeling. I just
Yes.
never realized it, right? So in the beginning, I would say that I was probably channeling my higher self or my source or my soul.
Mhm.
And then from there, the elders of the cosmos or what came in, they didn't want to be identified as specifics because they were trying to keep my ego in check. Very smart beings are they?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my soul as well, right? I wanted to channel Mother Mary or Archangel Michael or some name that I could identify.
Yes, yes.
Nope. Elders of the cosmos.
I
Around
love
that
you.
time, the Elohim had also dropped in. So the Elohim were trying to also
Mhm.
coach me, share with me frequency so that I could share some of their blessings and love. But the galactics came in also really fast. So I've been channeling different galactics, species, I don't know if that's the right word, but different galactic families
Collectives.
for a long time. I just didn't always know that, again, they were on the docket.
Yeah.
I consider myself to be a hybrid, like truly.
Yeah.
Someone
I
who
consider
has,
myself that too.
right, like even to this is the first time I've reached 50 years old on this planet in any
Mhm.
lifetime of being on
Oh,
Gaia.
wow.
And in order to ensure that, I had to manufacture even my physical body a certain way so that I wouldn't leave.
Yes, I gotcha.
Yeah. So my physical body is something I negotiated with spirit and my teams of light to make sure that I could stay to live through my full purpose in being here and not check out
Yes.
beforehand.
Wow.
So with that, there's just a certain awareness that, again, everything's frequency. I can check out like anyone else.
Sure.
I can be in avoidance like anyone else. But when the call is so strong, it's funny that Adam was talking about tools. I have a crystal skull that I'm in awareness that I had when I was in Atlantis. Now, not the physical skull, right? The physical skull is probably,
Yes.
I don't know, 20, 30 years old, right? I mean, the crystal itself is ancient, but the skull itself is not physically from Atlantis, but the consciousness that
Yeah.
dropped in the skull
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we do have the past life energy that we call back into this life. We do have access to tools, to energies, to things that help us recalibrate into soul memory. And I'd say that for a lot of us, accessing past lives is useful. And as I work with people and do various different kinds of readings, my only caveat to that is a lot of times people will say to me, well, I'm experiencing this because of my past life. Well, yes, that may be true. And it's also from this life. You can put that energy into this now. So we can't just bypass and say, oh, past life.
Yes. Yes. I see what you're saying.
And right, past life. And
Yes.
if you called it into the now, there's something in the particle of crunch within the quantum field that you're looking to make into a wave. So what is that crunch? And how do we navigate it so that we can bring it into the wave?
Ooh, I like that you identified it as a crunch.
Oh, girl.
Yeah. 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 I can see that. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I do want to give you some opportunity to kind of display your work and maybe take these a couple callers, because I can kind of tell that the energies are with us right now. And I can see that, and maybe there's some messaging here for the collective of the group too. We've had an amazing summit, and it's just I feel like it'd be a really good contribution if you're open to it.
Yeah. So we have a little bit of noise on the line. I'm trying to find out who it is, who's causing this noise here.
iPhone 137.
Very good. Thank you. All right, perfect. All right.
We have a hand raised.
Now I want to raise my hand first.
I'm happy to answer whomever is raising their hand.
Aurora, since I've met you, my channeling has really come online. When I started my body work, I was doing this practice called awesomeness. This energy just kind of washed through me and came coursing through my body. And I came up with a real word and I called it awesomeness. But it was very clear that I was starting to channel this Arcturian collective. And then they corrected me that no, it's not Arcturian, it's Arcturian dragon energy. I kind of, but then when I just tapped in and I'm like, I'm a hybrid, they were like, no, you're not. So I want to know more about what you decide as a hybrid, because it just seemed like, wait, I'm not sure now. And I feel like I'm having some unclarity, and I'm kind of curious what you tap in and can tell me, and maybe tell me about the next steps that I should be inspired to take.
Well, the first piece is that, a lot of I do the Galactic Akashic Readings, and in there, my awareness is that every single human on the planet, choosing light or choosing shadow and whatever their soul's mission is, has star DNA in it. It's kind of how humanity was formed on the planet. So in a sense, we're all hybrids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I would say that some are more activated than others. And I wouldn't say that you're not a hybrid, but perhaps what you're alluding to is how much of that access or what you have already placed online. So in other words, I would say that the answer is yes. And I would also say that some of the codes are still yet to be activated, and not for any particular reason. So again, the challenge with spirituality is a lot of you use it to hold yourselves hostage.
Oh,
I'm not good enough. Other people can do what I can't. I'm comparing, right? All these different things. And believe you me, I was there, because when John Burgos gave me my initial opportunity to first be on any kind of podcast and, be out in any kind of audience, I told him no. I said, no, I don't want to do this. Right. And he said, well, you're doing it.
Wow. Bless him.
Yeah, thank you.
Totally. I mean, honestly, whatever my soul contract is with John, I'm like, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
He's my brother in all time space.
Oh, I love that.
But the truth of the matter is that, even when I saw him last year at my retreat, and I said to him, John, when we met, like, I was an acorn. He says to me, Aurora, you were never the acorn. You were always the mighty oak. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Right. Like, so we tend to make ourselves small, and we tend to block our own energy, and it's our own block, meaning we're blocked because we are blocking it, not because there is some outside force blocking us. It's generally fear. Right. So that's not where you are, Jenith, I don't feel. But what I'm sensing is that you're in the process of developing more and more of a communication between an aspect of yourself and also your team. If you're getting a no on being hybrid, they may want you to understand what that means a little bit more for you. And that's all. Because my sense is, again, for some people, galactics is way out in the field. It's almost why I was afraid to step out as a starseed, because I just wanted to help people regardless of whether or not I consider myself a starseed. It didn't matter for me to take the title. And at the same time, once I did, there were a whole group of people who came out of the woodwork who felt unseen and unheard. Right. And so I realized why that piece of my journey was important. I'd say that part of, for me, being a hybrid simply means that I'm here to live out my mission and nothing is going to stop me from doing it. That's part of it. And that doesn't mean that any of you will be stopped or otherwise. I just have connection with a lot of galactic presence. I have connection with things beyond our universe, but I'm careful and I pause before I even open that door with our general collective, because what I am here to do on Gaia is really share about our own galaxy. Right. Even I get a
Yes.
full confirmation as I
got that. Yes. Like,
right? Like our
Yeah.
galaxy is really important to focus on. We don't have to go out into the multiverse or even all the millions of galaxies within our own universe. Our own galaxy is our focal point. It's why my body is physically here. It's why my consciousness is mostly here, though my consciousness can go out pretty far into different places and spaces. You know, what we're doing here on Gaia is incredibly important. Though I consider myself a hybrid, the human aspect of who I am is the most important part of my focus. My physical body, my emotional body, my mental body. That's why I'm here. If I were meant to be walking on water or floating in the air, or things that I feel we'll eventually do anyway, but we're not doing them quite yet.
Sure.
I would be untenable, right? How would anyone relate to me if I wasn't fully going through a human experience? So while being a hybrid is awesome, and knowing that we have our galactic connections is awesome, and all of those pieces of the pie, and we're, by the way, we're also elemental, we're also angelic, we're everything. We are of story. So we are everything. The important piece comes back to knowing that the human experience itself really is potent and powerful. And your channel, everyone's channel, is going to continue to expand, because it's just going to be abundantly important for us to continue to use discernment around everything. Sometimes when I give readings, I'm still finding the people that want me to validate their existence in some way, shape, or form, or understand their purpose, or things that I'm not going to give them. I'm just not, because my work here is empowerment. So what I would say is, if it's you, Jeneth, or anyone else who's been channeling or who's on the path and they're not sure what steps to take next, keep listening to your inner guidance, because nobody knows better than you what that is. I'm not here to tell you something that you don't already know. Sometimes the work is to help validate, just so you know that you're on the track. Right.
Well, I find that when people ask me questions from a facilitation standpoint, I can usually tell where the lie is that they're telling themselves.
Sure.
You know? Yeah. And
100%.
Right. So I feel like there's with this, it's kind of so beyond, maybe not. I'm getting I'll just stop talking right now, but it's kind of, beyond what, just navigating to, do 1, 2, 3 very linear steps in this reality. It's kind of like, well, what would be the next step for me to expand? But I know that I do know it, like in my knower, I actually do know. It's just easier to ask it than actually tap into my own knower.
Because again, what is the pandemic of all of humanity is doubt and lack, and not knowing who we are, and being separate from each other in source, and being told we shouldn't be seen, we shouldn't be heard, we don't know better, we're not good at. I mean, these are the layers of the inner child that we're bringing integration constantly.
I think this is such an important conversation, to really get people to trust themselves and trust their intuition.
I say it all the time.
And she totally does.
and yeah, that
but I'm still learning.
No. What we all are, that's it.
Yeah.
Every single piece.
Yeah.
Not just learning, but really remembering.
Yes, there we go.
Recalling.
It really is. It's recall and reclamation.
There you go.
Saying, this is mine. I do get to do this. Nobody can take this from me, because I am sovereign. I am whole. I am also experiencing a fractalized, weird kind of human experience. But the reason why is because in this life, if we are hanging out in the fifth dimension, all of us right now, and somewhere in the time space we are, there's so much peace and there's so much love and there's so much, all the things already there. Mm-hmm. So we wouldn't be navigating all the gamut of the human emotion and learning from being in density what it means to feel everything from the worst of the fear energy of shame to the highest of enlightenment, right? There's so much. If we use like David R. Hawkins, power versus force, there's a calibration or number that's associated with each human emotion. And that calibration allows us to understand where our consciousness is. Mm-hmm. Most of us are navigating levels of fear, right? And that fear can be anything. It could be grief, it could be disappointment, and not to put a shadow on grief. Grief is important, right? But it's the fear that we're never going to experience something again, or have someone in our energy field again, or experience life in the same way, because now we're moving into something new. And so we grieve what we've known to something completely unknown, right? All of these things are so powerful and potent, because when we are in the higher and upper echelons of consciousness, we don't get to eat pizza and have chocolate, which I know
or sex. Yeah.
Girl, amen to the, and then also it's like, we have an amazing experience. And even though this one is without a doubt crunchy and challenging, it's also rich with experience. Mm-hmm. Yes. Which is why all 8 billion people showed up for this particular individual expression of source experience. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right? To remember that we're badasses that can simply shift our focus and then start being the architect from a new vibration. Right? Again, 90% of what we think today, we're going to think tomorrow. So if we're not looking at our behavior patterns and our thought patterns, we're going to keep looping consciousness over and over and over again. And I did that for the first 30 years of my life. Victim consciousness, 9 near-death experiences. By the time I was 5 years old, wore it like a badge on my sleeve, like it was some badge. Yeah. And that was my story, and I was sticking to it. Mm-hmm. And now I have zero trigger around that experience. Mm-hmm. I understand that I'm closing timelines of the all-time that is now, collapsing those fields so that I don't have to keep being a victim on repeat in every life of Gaia or density. Mm-hmm. And now opportunity to fiercely love myself. I have the opportunity to fiercely love those around me, be in service in ways that empower my journey and my life. I mean, every time I meet you ladies, I think I share, I'm living my best life. And does it get it better? Totally. Does it mean I don't have challenge? Not ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How did you go about closing some of those timelines that were causing you victimhood and trauma? Was it just simply a choice for you, or choices, or tell us about that?
No, and even I'll share with you that my brother passed away 3 years ago on October 1st, and I was like so angry when that happened, like so angry, like ready to change my last name and just denounce my family when it all happened, because my inner child was so feeling responsible and wanted someone else to blame for it. There were just a lot of moving, complicated puzzle pieces to all of that. And so it's about, for me, sitting down with her over and over and over again, because my inner child will be different ages and different things for different unfoldings that are happening in life, right? Even when I showed up to my family's property and there wasn't a tiny home, like I could have easily gone into like WTF, like I trusted a family member for my well-being and they completely let me down. Or I was never supposed to live on that property.
Yeah.
But if I didn't have that as the guise of getting me to Mount Shasta, I might not have come back here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally went from the city of McLeod to McLeod Avenue. I was like, okay, Spirit.
That's crazy.
Right? You guess a little bit better next time.
Yeah. You're like,
right?
let's
And
get this in writing.
And then from there into a home that I could purchase, right? So
Isn't that beautiful? I'm so, so
all
happy for
all of
you.
life is conspiring with us, but when we're changing loops in the brain, in the pattern, it's saying, okay, I know we've had this conversation before. I'm having a perception, but it's not the truth. In other words, my family member did not try to ruin my life and wake up and say, "Ooh, let's bring Aurora out here and stick her in a tree." I mean, it was
No. Yeah,
9 times out of 10 when we're feeling betrayed by someone or whatever it is, they did not wake up in the morning and
yeah.
conspire to make our lives miserable or whatever the
Yeah.
thing, right? And again, we're a co-creator in the process. By
Yeah.
forgiving my biological mom for all of the things that happened in my childhood, I stopped attracting extreme people who have like intense bipolar energy into my field. But if I didn't forgive all of that energy and let it go,
Right.
really let it go. And I'm not saying that sometimes that energy doesn't come back into my field for me to reach the next level of forgiveness, right? I love when people say to me, "Oh, I've totally healed that."
Right.
I'm like, you've worked on a lot of big layers for sure.
Yeah.
And again, I share that as long as we're in density that looks exactly like this, right? I feel that evolution or ascension or whatever word you want to put on it means that we become more light than matter. So our light body will integrate more with our physicality and will literally go through some sort of quantum expression. I don't know exactly, right? And if and when that happens, we can't be carrying this baggage with us because there's no room in higher dimensional space for these lower belief systems to be available. Because when you're instantly manifesting in the fifth dimensional space, you can't be wishing harm upon someone or having a belief that you're a victim. We have to fully come online to the awareness that we are co-creators, that we're magical, that we're amazing, and that within all of that, no matter what anyone has done to us, even the most horrific act, I'm not saying we asked for it. That's not my truth. I'm also not saying that we should stay in abusive patterns with people. That's not my truth either. But we can find forgiveness. We're releasing ourselves from the worst possible energies, and we're freeing ourselves from saying, okay, this did happen, and this is my lesson from it.
Yes.
Right? We can't keep pointing the finger at each other. We really have to keep coming back to why on earth am I creating this pattern? Is it ancestral? Is it lineage? Is it past life? Like all those things can be true. And then can we sit with our inner child? And I mean, I have a lot of different tools that I use with the inner child. Even to that end, I think I shared on the last time we met, but maybe not. I have also used microdosing of psilocybin. It has, if 90% of what we think today, we're going to think tomorrow, some of those patterns are surface. And some of those patterns are an extremely deep groove that late, right? I have it from pre-verbal. That is a deep groove in my consciousness around what it means to be a victim.
Right.
But I know that my soul made choices. And so in those choices, I'm looking to fill in that groove with a lot of love and letting go. And just knowing like I made it here. Right. So would I change anything? No. Does all of me believe that? No. My inner child's like, are you kidding me? Why would we go back and choose that then? Like, no.
It's always this layer of protection, right? It's sort of like, gosh, I want to just, stop avoiding being oneness and just step all in, and I want to just trust the universe in every moment and every day. And it's great. And then when I really tap into it, there's still this little aspect of me that's like, but what happens
It's a
if
perceived,
blah, blah, blah?
yeah, it's a perceived layer of protection. I get scared of it. Like, I don't get scared, but I worry if we continue to label these things as that, because we're here to actually change them. And what we have bought into is a lot of the lie, a lot of the enslavement.
It's even when I hear people say narcissist, I start to cringe, not because the behavior might not be there, but because the more we keep labeling it and saying, you, not me,
Yes.
where the problem comes in. Because if you've attracted that kind of energy into your field, I'm
Oh,
so sorry. Been there, done
Oh,
that.
I
And
feel like I was the narcissist,
we've
in
all,
my 20s, right? We all have aspects of this. It's like
we
on a
do.
spectrum.
It is. It really is. And no matter what we have welcomed into the field, it's just important to look at it and say, okay, this is what I'm experiencing, and I'm kind of done experiencing it now.
yeah.
So, what are my action steps? Like, what
Yes.
Yeah.
am I going to do for myself? How am I going to give that love to myself? How am I going to cut this frequency out of my reality? Right?
Mm.
Because reality happens based on where we choose to keep focusing. So, if you're
Yes.
constantly sharing with people the story about the narcissist in your life, whomever that may be,
Yeah.
you are perpetuating the energy of that, because that is how it, like living in a quantum holographic field, that's what happens in our reality. We keep talking about it, we keep creating energy for it to be there.
Mhm.
I wonder about that. The only thing that I agree with that, yes. How do we traverse this whenever, navigate this whenever we can utilize that story as a teaching moment?
Oh,
Um,
100%.
okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
in
no,
other words,
not just a teaching moment, but also, like, again, if you don't get the story out of you,
uh-huh.
it's still going to live inside you. So it's not about bypassing it and pretending that you're not experiencing it either.
Uh-huh. I guess the thing is like, for example, I'm just gonna say, so my mother was a drug addict, my father was a drug dealer. Sometimes I will say that because I want someone to understand how much forgiveness I have, have had for my mother and what we've worked on. And my for like, is it forever gone? No, but it is something that I've worked on and have given a lot of forgiveness there and a lot of compassion. I don't choose to live in that story when I say that, but
Right.
am I reliving that when I say that?
No, that's my point. The point
Okay.
is, when I speak about the 9 year death experiences,
Yes.
zero trigger. So I
Yeah.
can speak to it without welcoming that kind of vibe back into my field.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm glad
Right.
that you clarified that.
Yeah, for sure. No, everything in our lives we experience is meant to be a teaching moment that can potentially help someone else on the journey. That's why I
Okay.
Love
often
that.
ask a lot of my clients who are like on the fence about getting on YouTube and TikTok and wherever, sharing what your experience is and your vulnerabilities, because the journey matters so much to someone who might be stuck in
Yes.
where they don't know how to get out. And
Yes.
your story, without so much the trigger, but even sometimes with the trigger, sometimes with the vulnerability, right?
Mhm.
People see that you're going through something, they're like, dang, I'm going through that too. Like, let's figure out even together how we're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's benefit to it. It's just that when we're cycling the energy of completely feeling like the victim and using that as the hook,
Ah,
that's where we're going to experience it over and over and over
I
again. But
gotcha.
again, right, my mom, may she be blessed on her journey, is this, she's like filled with this entity energy frequency because none of her is left in this bipolar energy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Her 80s, and she doesn't have a lot of time left on the planet. And bipolar is one of those things that when you lose baseline to the extreme that she does, and then come back to some sort of median, she can't get back to that median anymore because it's degenerative. Every time she
Oh,
would go into an extreme manic state, she can't get back to baseline from the same place where she reached it before.
Oh,
And
yes.
so
interesting.
she's just kind of an open vessel now for energy that isn't really her anymore.
Oh
But
boy.
for some reason, unbeknownst to me, she chose this soul path, right?
Mhm.
So I simply light a candle for her, pray for her, honor her and her journey, and knowing that maybe she's trying to take some of this energy on to get it off the planet when she goes. I don't know the answer, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
But definitely the story of navigating her and navigating being adopted into a family where one of these things is not like the other. I
Yeah.
mean, I love my family so much, and they're responsible for so much love in my life. And um, each of my sisters got married, each of them had 3 kids, each of them live within 15 miles, right? I'm not in that blueprint.
Yeah, I
how,
gotcha. I gotcha.
right? So it is all of it serves for the story of how we get to where we are. And it does help people to know. It does, I
And
think.
bless you for not being a part of that blueprint because we get to experiencing you here today with
Oh,
us. So, I mean, that's, it takes a lot of courage to step out and be Aurora, right? It's that, I mean, and to know that we can and be Jeanette, right? Like full expressions of ourselves. It's a lot of courage
Yeah.
to sit here and do a podcast in the middle of the day
Yeah.
when
I'm
my
what
colleagues were still going to work, in the company that I left, right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
To,
Yeah.
to really have these conversations where people are like, UFO, no. Like, dude, that's like the simplest, most the thing that's so obvious.
I
I
know,
know.
too funny, too funny.
Uh,
I'm glad
let's
that
take
I
some.
caught the last of Adam, just so you know, because I was like, ooh, I'm getting chills off of a lot of what he was sharing. It was super cool.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, talk about galactic, but he's been doing this since high school and he's in his mid
Phone
40s. Do I still have
137.
another one? Okay.
Let's take a couple
Yeah.
callers.
All right, Joe, you're up. He wasn't expecting to go first.
I'm not exactly sure how to word this question, but when you're talking about galactic connections, you have a lot. Jenna's got a lot. To the first one that came knocking, in short order, I had a whole lot of them. And I'm thinking that we all have that. All we got to do is open up to them. I want your input on that.
Well, I will say, Joe, that my awareness is we can all have access, and not everybody's journey is to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that
Oh,
you're being
mm,
locked out or that it's being withheld from you, as much as everyone is here to do, like, I'll give you for instance, I am not here to be a psychic medium in this life.
mm,
And I get mediumship in dribs and drabs, but my source and myself knows that I would be hanging out with all the greats in the higher realms, and I would never stick to being in a body or hanging out here in humanity and doing what I do, because I'd be busy talking to dead people all day long. And so
mhm,
part of my journey is not to really, at least in this moment or my awareness, fully open up into mediumship in that kind of way, though generally I can sense energy of people who have crossed over. I have a strong connection with my dad, and I'm developing one with my brother now that I've healed some or layers of what I navigated through his crossing, right? But again, the importance of the journey for each person is something different. And so I wouldn't say that people don't have access, but I would say if they're not experiencing that, their purpose or what they're here to do or how they're here to understand it or navigate it may just simply look different. And there's nothing, the challenge is again that we all get stuck in comparing. So again, when John Burgos asked me to be on his first summit, or my first summit on his show that was already actually around for quite some time, my answer was no, because I was looking at all the other guests that he had on that show. And I was like, you want me? Like, I'm not Matt Kahn. I'm not Wendy Kennedy. I'm not these people. Right. And so I was closing the door off to seeing who I was for my own self, because I wasn't doing what other people were doing. So I would say that, Joe, you are a telephone for sure to a lot of galactic frequency. And I think that's awesome. I would say that a lot of us do, especially if you're here right now, having this conversation, or if you were around for Adam's conversation, right? There's a curiosity there. There's a desired connection, or maybe already having connection. And I'd also say that, like, there might be a reason why Jeneth is working specifically with Arcturian and Dragon frequency in this moment versus, something from Orion, right? The Mintonkin or the Anunnaki. Like, we're all kind of doing what we're all here to do without having to worry about whether or not it's necessary for our journey to have all the things. That's kind of how I see it.
very cool.
That's an excellent clarification, and I thank you for that.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
That's all.
Aurora, we want to give you a chance to do maybe a group channeling as well. We've got about 15-20 minutes. How would you like to play this call out?
I'd say I'd be happy to answer if anyone has another couple of questions, and then we can definitely do about 10 minutes of channeling or so.
Perfect.
Great. All right,
Yeah.
Dana, you're up. She's in their inner circle.
Oh, we also have to do her special offer as well.
Yes, we'll fit that in there.
Perfect.
And I twisted her arm and got this massive, massive
did.
special offer.
Yes, she did.
She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she did that.
It's amazing.
Hi, Aurora. It's nice to
Hey.
see you again. I've had a reading from you before privately and also on the show from yourself and Omra. And I really want to personally thank you so much because you helped me unfold my dragon connection with my crystalline dragons. And that night I asked for confirmation, and I got this beautiful confirmation of the
Wow. Look at
moonbow
that
dragon
dragon.
that
Oh,
evening.
Hannah. That's
And
amazing.
I also learned from Omra about my star heart frequency a while ago, but it's just now getting stronger and unfolding. So I just really want to thank you for that
Oh,
so
Dana.
much, because it's big important pieces that you help me collect and remember. And recently I learned that I am definitely a bridge to the seen and unseen. And I recently also this past year started channeling, but I recently learned that I'm actually going to be a galactic interpreter also, and through like sigils, color, mudras, and stuff like that. So I was
Yeah.
just wondering if you had any words of wisdom for me on that.
Well, just stay in your heart, love, because you are, I mean, look, I see you as a sister through all time space, right? I don't really see a lot of difference between you and I. I get that, like right now, I might be more expanded in my state of doing some of this work, but I see you, right? And so with that, it's just important to keep trusting what you receive. It's important for you to know um, that we are in a holographic field. So it's like the minute you acknowledge the dragons, yes, the dragons are going to show up. I had a client come work with me one-on-one for a VIP retreat, and the Om symbol right behind you was actually very significant to this person. And sure enough, I think it was the second to last day of the retreat, there was an Om cloud, and they took a picture of it to show me, and it was unbelievable. But ultimately, the universe is constantly going to ask or answer what we're asking for. Like that, we're going to constantly receive validation from the stars, from the universe, from our holographic field, because wherever our focus goes or intention goes, energy flows, right? So sometimes it's shocking, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just saw this huge dragon, or, right over the moon. But it makes perfect sense because, again, whatever we choose to align with, no matter what it is, we will inevitably receive energy, information, codes, love back from that energy. So my only suggestion is to just keep your heart open, right? And use discernment, but keep your heart open as you continue to evolve and expand, and stay also as grounded as you can. And I can't emphasize that enough. The more grounded we are, the more light we can actually hold.
Yes,
Right?
that's a focus I always have, is to remain grounded.
Same.
And it's so funny that you said the Om symbol, because when I got this Om symbol, the morning I was going to get the tattoo, there was a license plate that said Om.
Right, right.
I don't know.
You can't make it up. Like you just can't make it up. Well, it's great to see you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Carolyn, you're up.
Hello, Aurora. I love you. My question is, I recently went to Arizona and visited Canyon de Chelly and went to the universal rock that's called Spider Woman Rock. Right after that, I had a large thunderbird come straight at me and go over my head, and it got bigger and bigger till it was about a 3 to 4 foot wingspan right at me and go over. And as I looked at it, it was black void. It had no features or anything. It was just total black void. And about 2 days ago, I had another episode where I was out doing the stars and, well, doing the sunrise, and it came right at me from far away, barreling at me, right at me, was so big, total void, and then went over my head. And I was just wondering if you could tell me what that means, who the being might be, anything. I would love it.
So my first question to you is, who do you think it was?
Well, I love divine feminine. I love the void. Um, ah, uh, so any aspects of that, I so welcome, and I'm so grateful.
Okay. What I feel from that energy is like the combination of energies. So, especially being on the land, white buffalo calf woman frequency is one of the first energies that comes to mind, but also Isis came to mind as well. And I got actually confirmation on that.
Yay.
Yeah. So, whenever we get these visions, I invite you to auto write. I invite you, like, I want to empower you, right? So I want to empower you to sit with the energy and say, hey, wow, thanks for that. Who are you? Like, what are you? What is it that you want me to know? But ultimately, you have a lot, right? I remember when we met for the first time, right? So
Yeah.
you have an uber amount of connection to the to these beings.
Mhm.
So, trust what you receive, because really, they're going to continue to offer information and or guide you, is what it feels like. So
Perfect.
oftentimes when I feel like these, especially the big ones come in, I think they want you to know that you're on the right track, but I also feel like there's something more that is going to come that you're going to expand into. So just keep your heart open. You already know you're already big on the heart medicine, right? So yeah, so just stay open to that and know that whatever's coming next, you're prepared for it. You've already got what you need. Ooh, full body yes on that one.
I love you.
I love you too, Carolyn. It's great to be with you.
Same
Yeah.
here.
Oh, Carolyn, you have fun energy.
She is awesome. Oh, all the peeps are awesome here.
Oh, yeah, they
Oh,
are.
we love this community. Alrighty, did you want to go into, and then we'll come back and do some channeling?
Did I want to go do what?
Oh, wanted to go over to the special offer, then
Oh,
come back
yes,
and
please.
all good. It's 1:11. Maybe you just stepped it to a verse.
I
11,
know,
11 my time. So yay.
Hey,
yay.
see, divinely guided, y'all.
All right. Let's talk about this because I literally was like, let's give these people something really galactic, really cool. Aurora, what you got? And she's like, all right, as long as it's not a single session again, because I'm getting a little overwhelmed. And I was like, great. And she just pretty much poured out some things that she had that we were like,
Well, yes.
yes. Or why don't you talk a little bit about what's in this offer?
Sure. So Omra, I think, was trying to inspire me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. This is cool.
Right. So
Yeah.
even though I see her as a single, she's definitely collective, and even Andromeda said that. But nonetheless, Umra asked me to channel like snippets, right? Like not long things, but just morning inspirations for each one of us to lean into as we start our day, to think about different, like we're used to waking up and being in a routine. So this was an opportunity to break the routine and to start focusing. Again, we talked about breaking patterns. This is another way to invite new thought patterns or new ways of being into our life, because we're used to waking up and brushing our teeth and doing the same thing, yada, yada. And so Om Ra came into the field each morning and said, okay, let's do this, let's do that. And I'm like, okay. So it does require you to download SoundCloud. SoundCloud is a free application, so you're not going to be charged anything for downloading this information. And it's really easy to get the app and to find the app. And so the invitation is to not do all 21 days at once. Even though one SoundCloud might be 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. The invitation is that 21 days starts to create a new pattern.
Yes.
So it's the invitation to hang out with the energy that is Om Ra and to see what they have to say. And use your discernment. If for some reason they're suggesting something that doesn't feel aligned for you, that's okay. You know, you don't have to say yes to everything, but the invitation is to start shifting patterns. The 3 sessions with the Pleiadians, it's 6 videos, because what I do is I speak on the topic that I'm given from the galactics, whether it be the Pleiadians or Arcturians, and then we do an activation. Activations are a next level. Because when I did the galactic gatherings in the past, the galactic gatherings were 12 sessions each, and they were like different, you know, we did solar deities, we did all kinds of fun things in that. And it's not that I didn't want to give you access to that, but it's that the energy that we're navigating on the planet right now is very specific. And so these meditations, again, help with navigating our physical being, navigating our mental habits, and navigating what it means to be in human form. Because even though it's galactic, they're trying to help us be good humans, or better humans to ourselves, right? They're trying to help us remember that where we are on our journey is perfect right now. And these are some of the tools that we can use to elevate and remember the truth of who we are. So it's just I was so grateful to get these downloads. These are easy to access because you'll get the links directly from Haute Hustle. So you won't have to download anything in particular. And I'm just honored to share this with everyone. It really is next level. So if you've not done my work before and you're curious about my work, this is a great and very reasonably priced introduction.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
So that you can of course, anything pre-recorded is very easy to share, and it's a great way to get to know what you experience when you're in meditation with me, or what you can get from your star families, essentially. And even if you don't think you're so connected to Arcturians, there's still medicine in it for you. Because again, if you're here with us, or you're going to watch this video on YouTube, or however this unfolds for you,
yes,
then this energy is for you. Otherwise, right? Otherwise,
if you wouldn't be called, you wouldn't want it.
Yes.
And let me just say, I started the Arcturian one just because, and it was just like spot on. It was like what they were telling me was exactly what I was hearing.
What you had been receiving.
Yeah. And it was so interesting because she starts, I mean, and it's so spot on, like boom, 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 boom. Like there's no filler anything. There's not even filler words that I've noticed. But it's just like, you know, they're talking about timelines, and I just thought, wow, this is so cool. And I can't wait to dive into it more, just so you have my personal commentary on this one.
Thank you. And also, even the free gift, like even if you even the free gift is a bit of a good introduction too, because it's again some energy around getting to know some of the work as well. And the images are very powerful. Violet flame, Archangel Michael, the cosmic egg. These are like energy altering pictures, frequencies.
Yes.
And by the way, you guys, a lot of the speakers gave us free gifts because we requested them. All the free gifts are added to that Haute Hustle Live page tomorrow morning.
Oh, awesome.
So, you know, if you have been like waiting for the big prize at the end, the prize comes in the morning.
Just so you know.
Just so you know. But we wanted, you know, you guys to be here and get introductions to all these 15 speakers. And, you know, really, it's like a sample set. You never know what you're going to get.
It's so true. Box of chocolates.
All right, Aurora, we have about 10 minutes-ish. Do you want to kind of let them experience some of this channeling that we're talking about?
They're already on their way in. So.
Yes.
Greetings, dear ones. We are the Om Ra Collective, also known as Om Ra Hanu, and we are so grateful to be with you on this day. We are in gratitude for your presence, for your love, for your heart, and for your tenacity to choose to be in human form for this evolution that you are a part of. We wish for you to remember that as a part of this journey, you are a particular brand, frequency, color, geometry that is necessary for the exchange of evolution on your planet. What does that mean? It means that perhaps you are wondering what on earth you are doing there. And we will answer that you are being you. You in all of your gloriousness, you in all of your doubt and curiosity and beautiful intellectual energies, your heart energies, and also your shadow energies, dear ones. Remember that the shadow is there to assist you in remembering. And as you remember, you are putting this energy back into collective consciousness. This is very, very important, for your collective energy in the astral realm is filled with much fear. When you come into the space of remembering even one iota of the truth of your being, you are now adding a collective energy of light and hope, dear ones. There are so many spots on your planet right now, in the Middle East, in parts of Europe, in parts of South America, in parts of Central America, in parts of Africa. These places and spaces are feeling despair. They are feeling life without hope. They are going through the doldrums of their days, and they are not living from the idea that tomorrow can look or be or feel better. You, on the other hand, are already awakened to the truth. And while you may not be experiencing love, light, rainbows, and unicorns every day, nor do we expect you to, by the way, of course, you already know what's possible, even if you're not yet fully experiencing what's possible. When you choose your focus of love and light, you are bringing that information into the collective of humanity. When you are actually unplugging from this collective and choosing unity consciousness, that as well will go into the collective cup, you see. And this is a very important stage or step in the evolution of what you are experiencing. It's why you came in particular. Can you imagine what it is to be this important of all the trillions upon numbers that we cannot even pronounce for you, of souls that there are in the multiverse, not just the universe. Souls that there are that exist that are aspects of source, collectively and individually, that have come down, and you have chosen to be here. Please not only pat yourself on the back, give yourself a hug from us, for we wish for you to know the importance of this. While you may not feel that you're changing the planet by opening the door or smiling at your neighbor or choosing to be kind, compassionate, or forgiving, these are the very tenets by which the new earth is being built. And of course, in truth, already exists, but the timelines are not fully complete from where you are sitting. We wish for you to know that this love that you are, the intrinsic spark that you are, is paramount to the shift in consciousness that is taking place. Keep your focus there, dear ones, not on the outside world that is riddled with fear. Keep it on yourself, on your journey, on your families, on your communities, on your chosen families. However you choose to walk in the world, this is important every single day. Even when perhaps you are participating in something that in a way may be exponentially increasing duality, it's still a rung in the ladder of coming back to neutrality, into peace. So keep following your discernment, keep following your heart, keep focusing on the love that you are, rather than the lack that you are believing that you are. And by the way, 'tis not possible, is it? Why would Source create 8 billion images in lack? Does that not seem like a farce, dear one? Does that not seem like someone else's overlay in order to enact a layer of control mechanisms? Of course, we know you know, and we wish for you to now erase what it is to be a part of that and reclaim the truth of your sovereign. Reclaim the truth of your love. Reclaim the truth of your unlimited potential, dear ones. As you continue to remember these pieces of yourself, you have the opportunity to shift not only your life, but to be an example that assists others in realizing they can shift it as well. And with that, we see you, dear ones. We remember you, and we love you dearly, and we thank you.
Some of the comments on the chat, this message was for me for sure.
Very
I felt truth here. Yes. Oh.
Soul chills in the energy. Beautiful. The way she channels is so magical and beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aurora. Any lasting words for us today? Oh,
just deep gratitude, because whatever gets channeled is because of all of you, right? Even as I did a sound healing last night here in Mount Shasta, it was a small, intimate, beautiful group, but what comes through that sound healing is because of the people who come.
Yeah.
I thank you for being the ones who showed up today, because what's channeled is because of you. And I'm deep, deep gratitude for that. Thank you so, so much. And thank you, ladies, for just continuing to live your full expression and continue to all of us to be a part of it, because it is totally magical to be with you.
Well, thank you so much.
Love you too.
This is just a whole heart fest here.
It is. It really is. All the comments too. We'll send it to you.
Oh,
yes.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
beautiful.
everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate and love all of you so much.
Wow. I kind of just am like, where do we go?
Well, we'll let you go.
Thank you, Aurora.
Beautiful. Golly, isn't she so fun?
Oh, so fun.
Yeah.
Everyone.
We got one more session here today with Teresa Wynn, who will be doing some dragon channeling.
Oh man, she's really cool too. Golly, what a great day, y'all.
Yeah.
I can't even, I mean, this whole summit.
This is Dragon Day.
Yeah, for sure.
And all you dragons come in. With the dragons together.
Our dragon voices out.
Do you need to take a little break?
You can go ahead. I can go after you.
You want to talk a little bit about the event and other things?
Yes, I can. I can hold the fort. Alrighty, guys. So we have a live event. It starts November 7th through the 9th, and it's actually going to be very retreat style. It'll be at my home. And so it'll be very intimate. We're going to do some past life regression through the quantum hypnotic healing. That is the stuff that I work with through Dolores Cannon's work. I'm so excited to get to share this with you. And we're going to do a group quantum hypnotic healing session. And then Jenith is going to walk us through some body work. She'll take you on the table, and she will probably about half the group. It's so intimate. And she will continue to work through metta, says awesomeness, is that what she calls it? And really that is so that you can release through the body. There's so much expression that is happening, and there's so much healing to be had too when you work with the even the Akashic records is another modality that I work with as well. And so we're gonna bring in all of this, but it is the collective of all of us together and our energies. This is where you come, and even if you don't know anyone, I promise you will make lifelong lasting friendships here. We create a group sense of community. In fact, it's just an extension of the community that we have here, and I'm so always honored to share that we have such a loving and for the live show, for the people that come to these summits, they are non-judgmental, so full of love. Like, we are on this journey together, and it's the reason why we bring different speakers, different ideas here, so that we can all receive them. We're all different, right? And so if we ask a question, we know that it's not going to be met with judgment. Jenith likes to call us the Navy SEALs of consciousness, and I always like to say, even if we don't know the right question to ask, or even if we don't know the answers or whatnot, right? We actually can have healing and receptiveness because we know we're in a place of like non-judgment. And so because we're all on this different pace of journey, we we support each other. And so that's just going to be another aspect of this particular live event. If you want to find out more information, I invite you to go read the page. It's at howthustle.com/event. And I've got a question here. It says, who is Teresa? Wow, Teresa is, she's a dragon channel. And I'll tell you a little bit about Teresa when we do her bio, but I definitely invite you to, if you can't see her live today, please listen to her on the replay. It's going to be really, really, really interactive. The first time we ever were experienced Teresa, it was amazing. Let me run to, I think I'm good. Actually, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Because we
good.
have a couple minutes. Okay.
No, we're good.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording.